idea for this video came out of a silly internet meme video that I saw that was people eating food played backwards. And there was just something so uncanny about it, about people reaching into their mouths and pulling this soft, crushable object out of themselves. When I imagined it being flowers instead of food, it opened up as just a beautiful visual metaphor for me for, you know, the creative process or emotions or inner mysteries, this character being who they are, the act of them discarding this soft, fragile thing that they had just brought out of themselves was sort of poignant to me. I looked at hiring an actor for this role. I went through a lot of resumes and demo reels. I made a posting, but ultimately it just was too difficult to imagine working with someone I didn't know. And Johnny is a friend of mine who has this wonderful openness and vulnerability, and he's basically the opposite of this character, and that's why he was so willing to play this role. And he completely understood exactly the kind of masculinity I wanted him to portray and was totally comfortable giving that to me, and I'm very grateful to him for that. I was really grateful to get a chance to work with Maya Bankovic. She's a wonderful cinematographer. I've worked with her in the past, but since we worked together, she's become very in demand. So I was very grateful that she was able to make the time to work with me on this. I really appreciated her calm, her technical know-how, and her perspective was invaluable. I wanted to capture this magical moment of someone walking through a nondescript apartment hallway and opening a nondescript door into a wilderness. That felt really magical to me. But of course, achieving that was a difficult technical challenge. I first was texting all my friends who live in apartment buildings to see if anyone felt comfortable having us film in their hallway, which of course is quite difficult because of COVID. Luckily, Colin, who also edited the video, decided to allow us to film in his hallway. And then I had to recreate his door, but in the woods. So we managed to find the same steel door, spray paint it brown, found the exact same numbers that Colin's door has, put those on and brought it out to the woods, and then of course had to steady it so that it would be possible to open and close it. It was quite a challenge and probably one of the hardest things in the whole video to accomplish, and it's funny because it just goes by so quickly you hardly notice, but we worked really hard on that. The roses coming out of the puddle was a fun technical challenge. I dug a hole in the woods to make a puddle where there was none, and it had to be quite deep because the roses had to completely submerge. Once again, we did this backwards, so we actually were lowering the roses into the water and then playing it backwards so it looks like they're coming out. But even that was quite difficult because we had to weight the roses down enough that they would actually disappear fully below the surface of the water. And we had to make the puddle quite deep so that they would disappear fully. One of the magical moments of the shoot was when I got on my hip waders and my mirror jacket and walked into the marsh. On one of the takes as I was singing, the wind came up and blew across the water, and of course it was so perfect because the lyric is the wind in the water, and we just couldn't believe that happened, and we had to keep it even though it doesn't perfectly match with the other shots.